Okay, I'm going to make a video on psychiatry because I love psychology. Psychology is not psychiatry. I'm a 28-year-old Canadian, and I'm rather sophisticated, and I know quite about the topic. Okay, so first of all, if someone says that if you don't go on the drugs, you're going to be deprived of your freedom, you're not going to get paid, and you can't join the military, you can't be a police officer, you can't cross the border, and you can't have a driver's license. But if you take the drugs, not only do you get your freedom, you get paid, and you can have a career, cross the border, and you get your driver's license. If that's the situation, and that is the situation in the field of psychiatry, you can't confirm that the drugs ever work. When someone tells you that they work, when you're going to go, you don't get to leave until you say that they work. And when we have improvement consecutively over a couple of months, then we'll pay you and let you go. But in the meantime, since we're unregulated, and we're foreign British and Indian people, we are going to write down that the drugs are helping, detaining you is helping, that we're seeing progressive improvements in your behavior, that seeing you help, that we learn more about you, and that our confidence in you has increased consecutively as we've been here. And of course, they've got mall cops, which deprive you of your legal right to not be injected with drugs or harassed or abused, because the psychiatrist, who's unregulated, says inject him with drugs. So the mall cop forgoes all your rights as though the psychiatrist is the law. And he's not. He's not at all. Nothing that he says is the law. The difference is that if you're yelling and screaming and hitting people, well, maybe he has the right to inject you. I don't know. That's probably within his legal rights. But under no other circumstances does he ever have the right to put you on drugs. And of course, they're always going to write, everything was justified. So you show up on the first day, and they're going to inject you with drugs. And they're going to say that you needed these drugs, it was necessary, and thereby we're making improvements. Pay me for putting you on drugs. Pay me for seeing you. And give me a good rapport. I'm a psychiatrist. Life is wonderful for me. And he doesn't care what's going on. So the whole mind over matter concept is that your mind is not controlled by your brain is controlled by your mind. When all the brain chemistry that they're mapping, when they go through a scan, that's representing emotions. Your emotions aren't representing your mind. So when they ask you questions, no matter how many times they ask the question, they don't know what emotion they're tracking, because every single person is thinking and processing all different kinds of information. And when you ask them questions, they don't know what information they're processing there either, because it can be any amount of information that they're processing. So the whole mind over matter concept, you'll never learn what you're looking at, because people don't know how to express themselves. People aren't honest. People have biases and all these preconceived notions, and they are observing the whole world. And so it's complicated. So the psychiatrists act as though you're a teacher and they're learning from you. They don't approach you with competency. They don't approach you as though they understand the topic. They approach you as though they're unregulated, they're going to get paid to put you on drugs, and anything they write goes, and they're officially the law because they're going to destroy your medical record. And so they act like they're just going to consecutively learn, even though they're too incompetent to approach the topic professionally. And then so they're condescending and demeaning and deluded and conceited when they say that they're your friend, because they're not. They're just trying to put you on drugs and go with their biased, preconceived notions. And that's how it goes. And they want you to come back, even though they don't know how to treat you, because they're going to get paid every single time they see you. So those are the 6 major points about psychiatry here. We've got foreigners whose visas depend on putting you on drugs and saying that the drugs work, and they're completely unregulated. Okay, so no, the reason this is relevant is because I love psychology. Psychology is awesome. Theism, philosophy, the whole thing, that's my gambit. Now, I hate welfare. I hate the welfare state. I hate the idea of collecting income tax. I hate the idea of collecting employment insurance. I hate disability bills and all the whole whatnot. I try not to collect it. The only reason I have any of that right now is because my boss hates drug addicts so much. He says, take it, or it's going to Trudeau's welfare funds. So, for the first year, I'm waiting on it right now. And, but I was trying to get on disability in Vancouver so I can be a philanthropist in tourism and do the whole touring around promoting the things I like to say, like don't cut grass with non-renewable resources, don't sponsor capitalist whoremongering criminal cartels, don't be monolingual, like just good stuff. And so I went looking for a psychologist, and I found a psychiatrist who had me arrested and detained for 5 months. So as a sane person who was trying to get on disability, I observed all the medical malpractice in the British Columbia mental health assessment and process for months of injecting me with placebos and stuff. It was absolutely absurd. I shared a room with a guy that said he wanted to peel people with a potato peeler. And it was, I didn't see any camera in the room or anything. No one ever discussed him with me, but for a week he was talking about peeling people with potato peelers. And we shared a room. It was hilarious. And he's standing by my bed looking out the window. I'm like, hey, if you're a telepath and you're worried about the world being like that, your son might hear you, so just think better thoughts. And it was really awkward. So anyways, that's how this came about, to me knowing so much about psychiatry. It's not psychology, it's not scientific, it's not academic, it's not recommendable, it's just crazy. But I love philosophy, and these whole how to verify that the drugs work, the foreigners controlling it unregulated, the mind over matter, knowing what you're doing, the being prepared. If they don't create accords with you after they ask your question, how do they know that you understood their question, even if you answered it 50 times? And if they don't form accords with you after you answer the question, how do they know that they understood your answer? Even if they ask you 50 times, they actually have to create an accord, not reiterate, not restate, not reacclaim anything. They actually have to form accords, and they never do that with anyone. Why? Because then they have a standard of expectation, which will screw over everyone in the field, and they're completely unregulated. So it's just one of those things. So I was locked up for 3 months, and so I leave. I didn't collect any of it. And then one day, on my income tax form, they tell me that I'm negative, $2,000, because I never collected any of this. So I had to go and deal with a big phone bill. It said I had a $6,000 check waiting for me in Vancouver. I'm going, do I want it? Didn't. Anyways, peace.